Hey guys, Mr. Is Missing, bringing you episode 16 of Tales of Xillia. Last time, well, we rescued Lord Klein from the badness that was whatever the hell Roshigel's doing, or the King of Roshigel's doing. And this time, well, our next objective is to ask Klein about the situation. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Normally I would be leveling up and stuff before the video, but I think we're fine for now, so I'm just going to not worry about leveling until like next episode or so. So let's go ahead and talk to Klein.
I still haven't heard from my people at Fort Gondala. I imagine you're growing impatient. Would you like me to dispatch Rowan to check on the preparations?
Well, if you feel so inclined, you can send Rowan.
Very well. I will send him at once.
Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the story and stuff.
I'm counting on you, Rowan.
I will not let you down.
How long until you return?
Let's see. It should take me no less than a day to get to and from on horseback.
Oh, I suppose that means we'll have to bid farewell to our new friends tomorrow.
Looks that way, if everything's on track.
That settles it. Today, Ellie, Mila, and I are going shopping. Shopping? For real? Hooray! Time's a-wasting. Let's go!
Wait, where are we going?
I promised to take Ellie shopping, silly. If you're leaving tomorrow, today's our only chance.
Ah, very well. You two carry on with your consumerism.
Everyone, to the shops! To the shops!
Wait, put me down. I have no need for trinkets.
It's not gonna kill you to tag along.
Yeah, you might actually enjoy acting like a human girl for once.
A human girl? Strictly speaking, the concept of gender does not apply to me. I merely took the form of a woman upon manifesting in this realm.
I can no longer obey the king. He uses his own people as pawns. It's time to stand against these tyrants. It's the only way to protect this precious piece of ours.
Are you going to rebel?
Is there going to be a war?
I'm certain Noctigal has consolidated his power for an invasion on Azul. He has already shown that he's willing to sacrifice his own people to satisfy his ambition. If he isn't stopped, countless lives in Roshigal and Azul will be lost all for naught. I am the governor, and protecting the people who live here is something that I must do.
That's not easy.
You're right, but I'm responsible. Now, will you lend me your aid?
But, well,
Deposing Noctigal is in everyone's best interest. We must unite for this cause.
Master! Klein!
Damn it.
Heal him, quickly! Right. This arrow is... No, Jude, please, you mustn't give up now.
Rowan, you can't expect miracles. know that the wound is mortal. It's up to you to look after the country now.
But I know that I'm not up to the task. It's impossible.
You of all people can do it. I know that you can.
Master, no. Don't go.
Lord Klein!
Please continue with your report.
Yes, sir! The Rashigal army has invaded the town. Our troops are engaged throughout the city.
Things just went from bad to worse.
Mila and the others are out there.
Very well. We must protect Lady Dracelle at all costs. Master, please forgive me for having to leave your side. We must defend the manor.
Yes, sir!
Let's go.
Now this is where things are going to get very complicated for me. Not so complicated for you guys. So as you can see, we only have 3 people in the party. And that's how it's going to actually be for a little bit. Meanwhile, if you chose Mila's story, you're going to be seeing a completely different set. You would see Klein assassinated, yes, but that's pretty much all you would see. The scene inside would have gone completely unknown to you. Likewise, there's a couple of scenes that are going to be unknown to us on the Jude story. However, because of the way I'm doing this, you guys are going to see the Mila side story. So, for that matter, I'm going to cut away here, and I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Mila side story, so you can kind of see what's going on over there.
Right, I've made up my mind. Ellie, this is for you. Wow! That's not cheap! Just how much money do you have, Dracelle? Now, don't be rude, Tipo. Thank you. My pleasure. You like that pendant, Mila?
No, it's just similar to something I already have.
It's just a boring glass ball. It is very pretty, though. Why do you have that?
It was given to me long ago by a human child.
And you've carried it ever since? What if you dropped it? That would be a dreadful shame.
I would be happy to make it into a pendant like this one.
Good idea. Let's do it.
This is quite pleasing to the eye. Thank you.
Ah! Stop, please!
Resist, and we will show no mercy.
What is the meaning of this? Cease your attack this instant! The governor himself has ordered all Rashigal troops to leave the city.
And you are?
A member of House Cheryl.
Foolish girl.
I'm under orders from the king to wipe out any and all rebellious elements. You will come quietly, or else.
What?
Take them into custody. House Cheryl is conspiring to rebel against the throne.
I don't like the sound of this. Let's run!
The doll is right. We must escape before we're surrounded. Something major is at play here. Stick with me, you two.
Okay.
Well, who do we have here? Don't just stand there. Take her!
And we enter combat. Welcome to Mila's side story, everybody.
I'll do my best.
So, it is just us and Elise right here, and as you can see, we can't actually kill these guys. They will always be left with 1 HP. What's actually happening here is that we just need to just wait a little bit. We can't beat these guys, and there's no way to actually win this combat. And you will see right here.
You got them, yes? Arrest them all!
Alright, so now, welcome back to the Jude side story. So you are going to be seeing a couple of kind of repeat sections, but that's because there are a couple sections within a cutscene that are in common, but otherwise there are unique parts to each side. So we're going to go ahead and proceed forward and try to look for Mila and the others.
Look! Lady Xillia!
Let's clear out these goons.
No, it will take too long and waste our energy. Stand down this instant! What point is there in fighting after you've completed your mission? Or are you mere savages who take delight in the suffering of your countrymen? Let us return to the manor.
Right.
Return to the manor we shall. So kind of how the structure of this one, we have split stories like this, is I'm going to kind of lean more towards chronological order as opposed to one side than another. That way you guys can get a feel for what's happening in the game on both sides kind of during the same time.
Everything okay?
Yes, I have made arrangements for Lord Klein's funeral, although the ceremony will be brief.
How could this have happened?
The arrow that took my master's life was of a unique design, one used only by Noctigal's personal guard. And considering the timing of the army's invasion, it's obvious this was all a plot by Noctigal. The assassination allowed him to seize complete control of Rashagal.
Noctigal does think big.
I wonder where they took Mila and the others.
Fort Gandala, most likely. A single division of troops couldn't possibly attack multiple cities in a short time. It's reasonable to assume that Sapstrath Sea Haven remains safe and under Cheryl control. Thus, our attackers must have been ordered to return to Fenmont. And Fort Gandala is the only place equipped to house troops between here and there.
Good thinking. Makes sense to me.
We have to save them.
I like your moxie, kid, but we're talking about a fortress here. It's not like we can storm the walls.
On the contrary, we do need to rush. Tonight may be our only chance. The morale among those troops was visibly low, and now they've been forced to march home after battle with no rest. They'll be at their weakest. And don't forget we have a trump card ready and waiting.
That's right. The men we sent to infiltrate the fortress.
We should depart at once.
A butler, huh? Who is this old man exactly?
A very wise one. So, at this moment, we are going to, well, we're going to be focusing mostly on the Jude side story. The dungeon that we're heading to, Fort Gandala, is going to be basically the next point in which Mila and crew become controllable again. So, we're going to get to Fort Gandala, which is through this path right here, the Colmar Trail. No, wait, that doesn't seem right. Correction, the Talisai Road. I knew I was going the wrong direction. So, we're going to just go ahead and head to the shopping district, and then we are going to go ahead and, well, head pretty much straight to Fort Gandala. So, before we do that, we're going to go ahead and view the skit, Mila's Champions.
I can't believe they got Mila.
Are you so surprised? These are the same thugs who snared the 4 great spirits.
And I let the same thing happen again.
Let's get moving, gentlemen. We can't afford to suffer any more losses.
Aren't you listening? These guys are way out of our league.
Don't be ridiculous. They haven't a chance. Especially against a warrior of your considerable talent.
Didn't take you for the sort that props up comrades with sweet talk.
That depends on the comrade. Does it seem to be working?
A nice effort, but I only fall for flattery when it comes from the lips of a lady.
Then let's go save Mila and the others. I'm sure they'll praise you.
Oh yeah? Well then, I guess I'll put out a little effort.
Alright, and let's proceed forward. Ah, God. I've kind of overshadowed the fact that Klein has, well, died, which makes me really sad because he's such a cool character and he's such a really nice guy. God, right in the feels already. Well, I say already, but I don't know. I guess Klein's kind of the first character we've been attached to that's really, like, passed. Anyway, so we are in a new area, which means I've got a lot of exploring to do, and also I'm going to check food. Okay. So, I do have a food item active, if you remember in the last episode. So, I am going to actually be battling out here until that food wears out. By the time I get to Fort Gandala, I need to link with Rowan. But by the time I get to Fort Gandala, I'm not actually going to be using food items. The reason for that is because the soldiers there give really, really shitty experience. So it'll be overall better if I just use all the food out here and not worry about it. And then you guys can see that I've increased the difficulty just because I'm not actually like blowing through these guys. Anyway, that's beside the point.
And finished.
Alright. Alright, and then Rowan's partner skill, Auto Magic Guard. Basically, if you have Rowan as a partner, whenever we're attacked by a Spirit Art, Rowan will activate Magic Guard on us. Automatically. So if you're going against a boss or anything that is super heavy in the Arts department, definitely get Rowan as your partner. He's super good for that. My only qualm about using Rowan as a partner is that I am kind of a CQC character, so I'm actually going to be switching to Alvin, and I'm going to just kind of hang here. Just because Alvin's going to be better physically, and I want Rowan to just be spamming Arts from the back, mostly. So, I'm going to leave it to him to do that, and I'm just going to try to wreck these skeletons to the best of my ability. And as another point, because we're not in Burmia Gorge, we don't actually have to worry about any sort of weakness to, or a strength against wind.
Yeah.
Ouch, the cold shoulder.
Alright, so I have 7 more battles to go, and then as you can see, there are some holes in here. And also, there aren't that many, collectibles, really. Like, as you can see, there's not too many things in the ways of, like, kind of plant life where you would see, gathering points, which I believe is what they're actually called, where the shinies lay. So, it's going to be a little harder to collect materials from this region. And then as you maybe can see, the outer rims of the screen are kind of a bluish color.
I'm not liking this wind. It's messing up my hair.
I think that's just kind of the environment. It doesn't actually have any deeper meaning to it or anything, so don't worry that the color scheme's a little off. I think they do that just so it's maybe easier to focus on the screen or something, since it's kind of all deserty and stuff, but that's beside the point. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and climb up here. And let's see. So I'm mostly looking for gathering points. I'm not really worried about battling too much right now. Oh, and there's a knifey treasure up here, so definitely want to come up here. Sly glasses, which I already have obtained in my previous playthrough of the game. Speaking of the previous playthrough of the game, something that I want to talk about is kind of, well, the Mila side story in general. So what I did for that one is that I went basically half level from my previous file. So in my previous file, I ended the story around like level 60 something, kind of the low to mid 60s. And then for the New Game Plus file for Mila's side, I decided to do half level just because it would be less of a hassle. But because that's so expensive, I wasn't able to put on the 5 times experience. For that reason, I'm seeing that this game file that I'm playing on right now, Jude's side story, is actually really catching up to the Mila side story. In fact, we're within about 4 levels since we're level 30 right now. So very soon I'm going to actually be switching over to, well, I'm actually going to probably stream this actually. I'm going to go to Mila's side story and I'm going to basically replay it from the beginning and just kind of get back, basically all caught up and stuff. Again, the reason being is because I kind of want the levels to be about equal, so I would like to get Mila's stuff. Why did I come back up here again? This place is really easy to get disoriented in because it's so freaking big. But yeah, I'm going to be going through Mila's side story, probably via a live stream or something. And I'm going to basically replay through the game with 5 times experience on and not half level. That way, it'll just make it a little bit easier for me on the Mila side story. So I'm probably actually going to end up doing that this Friday. So if you guys want to look out for that. I don't know necessarily when I'll be starting. It'll probably be a little bit earlier in the evening than I normally stream. Usually I start streaming at around 9. But I'm going to probably start a little bit earlier for this case. Yeah, I don't actually know the linked art chains for Alvin and Jude, so excuse that. Oh, and these guys are very weak to water, so I'm going to note that, and I'm actually going to take advantage of that. And then as you notice, Alvin and Rowan are not actually saying anything, and also Jude didn't say anything when they leveled up. The reason why is because this is kind of a supposed, hey, I gotta rush to my destination sort of plot point. So when it's kind of somber like this, then definitely you're going to note that there's not as much talking for the end for leveling up anyway. Alright. Skeletons, however, don't actually have a weakness to anything, so don't worry about the water weakness. Otherwise, for the most part, everything seems to share the water weakness, including these plant dudes, which are normally weak to fire, or at least in the forest they were. Oh, looks like Alvin's got synergy with that, so I will take note of that. Okay, so 4 more Marble Curries left, and I think I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next area. So Colmar Trail is really big, and it's got 3, or not Colmar Trail, the Talus High Road. I don't know why I keep saying Colmar Trail, but as you can see, it's got 3 regions. One is going to be, well, the region we were just at, then the region we just entered, and also one region kind of in the southern, or south of this region anyway. And then it leads straight to Fort Gandala. So I'm going to gather up these 2 guys right here, I guess. And I'm going to, or I was going to try to linked encounter them, but something you can do actually is if you don't want to actually fight something because you didn't actually get the linked encounter that you wanted, what you can do is just run from the battle. That will basically reset the fight and you don't have to actually worry about it. Alright.
Man, are we good or what?
Yeah.
Ouch, the cold.
But anyway, the treants seem to give, or seem to me anyway, to give the best kind of experience and gold and whatnot. Which again, I'm kind of focusing more on the gold because I am, well, I'm decently leveled at this point. I could be a little lower, I could be a little higher. It's a pretty good balance that I've struck. Alright, let's try this link dart. Alright, I probably wanted to be closer to a group of enemies for that, but whatever. Let's just build up our linked art gauge. Alright. And then for the... actually, I was going to say stuff about the dungeon coming up and describe it a little bit, but I'm going to save that just because it's, well, probably just better that I talk about it there. Ooh. Okay. These guys are getting annoying. So just keep the Aqua Sweeps up. It's doing a lot more damage than the basic attacks. Okay. 2 more Mabo Curry left, and then I'll probably just try to avoid battles from there. Let's see. And actually, now that I think about it, I do need to kind of visit the shop relatively soon, just because I do have a decent amount of material items that I can give up. Okay, and there's a bag over here. There's a chest over there, and then I'm going to climb up because there's a few holes up there. Oh, and there was food item in there, and I didn't actually see what it was. All I know is that I discarded it. Oh well. If I'm not mistaken, that particular food item is not necessarily a gold or experience producer, so I'm actually fine with discarding it. Alright. Got the encounter link, and I got the stun off too, which is good for the first wave of enemies. Alright. And then, I don't know if we've discussed this, probably like really early in the Let's Play, but just as a reminder, Alvin's linked support thing is Breaker, which will break enemies' guards, so it's going to make it really good for kind of defensive-based enemies. Alright, and Jude gets another level up, and we have one more charge of Mabo Curry left. I thought there was a hole up here. Oh, there it is. I just went the complete wrong direction. Okay, I thought I saw a gather point over here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sneak into the hole past the treant and get an all divide. Now, all divides are an interesting item. I don't think I've really actually talked about them, but all divides basically split all damage that's done by half. This includes your damage and their damage. The reason why that might be a good thing to use is for like an enemy that's doing way too much goddamn damage. If you trust your abilities enough and you think you can do more damage in a given amount of time than your enemy, then definitely use an all divide. This will basically have their burst, but if you can get off good combos, you're going to well make up for it. So it's definitely a good item to have for kind of fights where you're worried about that kind of thing. Anyway. And then Alvin just wrecking some shit with his wind sword. It's a little annoying that these guys are, well, not weak to anything in particular. Makes them a little harder to kill. But the skeletons are also giving good experience in gold, so can't complain. And there is a hole right here, so let's go ahead and venture in. And if I'm not mistaken, this is, well, first off, this is empty. And also, I am now out of Mabo Curry charges, which means I'm going to, well, not ingest anymore. Simply because I don't need to. Now, if I were to go to the right here, that would go towards the other region. But because in the story we're kind of in a rush, more or less, I'm actually going to not hop into the other region, and I'm just going to go straight to Fort Gandala. I will come back a little bit later just to kind of show what's over there, but other than that, I'm pretty much going to, Elisa's not in our party, I forgot about that, so I can be back attacked again, and I must have like jumped like right on top of an enemy or something. I think Rowan has some sort of status on him, so I ought to try to fix that in a second here. Arts, Jude, recovery ring on. Okay, maybe it wasn't a bad thing. Anyway, so we are now at the end of the Tylus High Road. So guys, next time we're going to be entering Fort Gandala. And, well, it's going to be interesting how that one's going to be structured. Simply because we are going to be playing as both Jude and Mila. I'm probably going to show Mila's story first, just because her Fort Gandala dungeon is a lot shorter than Jude's. So I'm probably going to show off that bit first, and then I will work from there. So, I'm just going to go ahead and punch the living shit out of these enemies.
over already?
And I'm going to end the video here. So guys, thank you guys for joining me. This has been Mr. Happy is Missing, and I will see you in the next video.